What's good, y'all? I'm back with another video on YouTube. So, you know what happened with FaZe? You watched my last video on why FaZe fell apart. This is FaZe Banks. Got caught lying about a lot of shit. He trying to defend himself and all that, but he got caught lying about a lot of shit. A lot of new stuff is coming out today. So let's watch and see what's going on. Make sure you smoke some weed. I had to re-record this video because the audio was off, but it's straight.
Since Max wanted to go live and talk about standing on business, and I was right, and look who was right, and I left FaZe first, and look at me, 100K viewers, highest off the clout, just proving everything that I said.
This Max was calling Max in the car. And they're like, yo, this Silky, though, he's lazy, da 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 da. Not even knowing Max is on speaker. Silky is right next to Max.
Apparently, I'm this awful, terrible guy, monster, who Max had all these issues with.
Bro, you can just look at Max. Literally look at Max. Look the way by how he talk, how he act. Look at what he's wearing. Look at Max. Remind you, I think the nigga about to be like 40 or some shit. He about to be 40 and shit. Look how he dressed. Look at the way he acting. Look how who he hang around. This nigga is childish. This nigga childish, bro.
Max and Banks got in an argument. He calls other FaZe members and says, this.
Now, I thought I was gonna have a brief moment of rest in this entire FaZe saga, but before I could really even shut my eyes and close my PJs in my robe to give myself a little bit of
not gonna lie, that nigga robe's official. that nigga's robe official fuck.
break. FaZe Banks came out and did his scorched earth attempt about Plaqueboy Max, seemingly exposing him as being some sort of liar, deceiver to his audience, trying to get the community to galvanize some sort of support around him. But I'm gonna be quite honest with you. Everything I watched from those videos to those text messages just confirms everything that I've been saying for the past year about the FaZe Collective. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. It goes a long way. Us unemployed gotta stick together during this.
I did hit a crazy body high. But like and subscribe. Like and subscribe, yo. Like and subscribe.
Holiday season. Now, back into the content. Now, I know eventually that one of these FaZe guys will be the one to pop the top off of everything. When I got called out last year by Ron, Lacey, and Banks, and we had our whole Discord argument, I saw who was reacting, how they were reacting, and what they were saying. And there was one person who kind of just stayed silent, just kind of watched, that's tough, etc., but didn't join in on the dog pile for the most part. And that was my good buddy Plaqueboy Max. Since that situation, he took his departure from the FaZe Collective, saying that
you know what crazy? I don't know why I called him Playboy Max. It's Plaqueboy Max. Okay.
He had mental health issues. He was struggling to find himself. He was burnt out from his 365 challenge. And specifically, well, really unspecifically, because he couldn't get into too many details, he didn't have ownership of anything. If you're new to this saga and you haven't tapped in just quite yet, Plaqueboy Max's cousin, Fatboy Dip, came to the internet exposing how the FaZe Collective wanted to charge Plaqueboy Max an insane amount of money for housing.
Gang, you see that little townhouse that Max was in? They tried to make that pay 20 bands a month. What the?
Again, and you watched my last video. Like I said, my brother lived in Los Angeles. He lived in LA, Los Angeles. Yeah, Los Angeles. He used to have a condo in Los Angeles. Yeah, Los Angeles. Yep. Yeah, he used to have a condo in Los Angeles. And it was across the street from the stadium, the LA stadium, the Lakers stadium. And it was like a top floor. It wasn't a low floor, like a high floor. He paid about, I think, 7K, 8K a month for that condo. And they had Plaqueboy Max paying 20K for a small townhome a month. 20K a month for that shit. Bruh. No.
20 bands a month.
Or give a percentage of myself.
It's insane, bro.
Infinitopia. It's pretty much the only place that isn't being gobbled.
What? Now, later on in his own stream, Plaqueboy Max would all but verify the claims that his cousin made, and ultimately sprinkling on some more seasonings to the healthy stew that says that FaZe Clan was ruined by FaZe Banks. Now, there's a deeper conversation about how the FaZe Collective...
Bro, FaZe Banks, I don't like him, bro. I really don't like that nigga, bro.
wanted to come back and recoup a whole bunch of money from them, which we'll get into it at a little bit of a later time. But ultimately, just know that FaZe Banks was called out by Blackboy Max. Now, this situation would cause FaZe Banks to do a retaliation. And in that retaliation, FaZe Banks naturally would go on the defense, saying that, you know, these guys were fake and ungrateful.
I just watched some clips from this Blackboy Max stream where he's playing a laugh track over my tweet. And it's like, Max, I know we've had like our individual differences, and I know I haven't really seen eye to eye with a lot of the talent because truthfully and honestly, I find you guys all to be incredibly ungrateful. I find you guys all to have insane egos, and I think it's disgusting. It makes me sick to my stomach that your guys' relationships with each other and with every other streamer, and your community included, is so incredibly fake. You guys are the best actors on planet Earth.
Not going into detail in the live stream.
So like what he did was, let me break down how toxic that shit was. What he did was, instead of acknowledging what Blackboy Max is saying, or taking accountability for what the shit he's doing, because everybody's talking about Banks. They're talking about Banks. He said, yeah, they're bad guys and all their relationship with other streamers are fake. He adding in other people. He trying to add in other people and make everybody turn against him. That's what he's doing. He's weird. That nigga's weird. Banks is weird. Faye Banks, I think this nigga's weird.
That I just did in the previous video. But ultimately, that set off the chain reaction. That chain reaction would lead to a scorched earth moment where Blackboy Max's cousin Fatboy Dip came back to the internet and revealed even more secrets that would disprove any narratives about this collective organization being genuine, friends, etc., and that there wasn't any sort of nefarious deeds behind the actions that FaZe Banks and whoever the ownership group was doing.
This nigga Banks was calling Max in the car, saying like, yo, bro, they were just talking. They're like, yo, this nigga's silky, though. He's lazy as fuck. Da-da-da-da-da. Yo, you would have thought we was in a skit talking crazy shit, not even knowing Max was on speaker. Silky is right next to Max, talking crazy shit about the nigga in Miami, saying this nigga's lazy, I don't know about this nigga. And when he comes back, yo, this is my brother, So I guess we all fake then, nigga.
Guys, I've been waiting for this moment for so long. I don't think people really understand how hard it is to contain the excitement that I have. On the live stream, FaZe Banks said that all of this was genuine. All of this was real. And I don't know about you guys, but I wouldn't genuinely or really talk behind my friend's back or my bro's back. That just seems like somebody who is fake and who is a deceiver to me. He also made a claim that there weren't financial ties to these guys, which I guess on paper at the time were to be true. But at that moment, I know for a fact that FaZe Banks and the FaZe Collective, I'm talking about the ownership group, were ultimately going to want to seek financial gain from these guys. So it makes a lot of sense why Blackboy Max's cousin would talk about this Spotify deal that was secretly and under the table put in for Blackboy Max in order for, you know, the FaZe Collective to benefit and Max not see any money behind it. A conversation about brand deals came up, and for those that don't know, this is where the management companies get a lot of their dollars and cents. That's where they take their 15, 20, 30, 40% of the cut. And when Blackboy Max had his room decorated, all of a sudden there was a big Spotify logo in the background. Now, naturally, because these are young kids, they think it looks cool and official, but I know that that's not cool and official like that. What happens is ultimately once these things get clipped up and repurposed and repackaged, that's an ad that goes across TikTok 40,000 times, not just by the creator themselves, but by all the clip pages, the meme pages, etc., etc. Just a perpetual ad that will always exist in your background. But somebody has to pay for that perpetual ad. And if somebody has to pay for that perpetual ad, that means somebody has to, you know, make bank off that perpetual ad. But Max wasn't making the bank. It seems that FaZe Banks was making the bank.
Nigga, I'm like, gang, you're Blackboy Max. You can get that yourself. And
it's like, yeah, bro, like, nigga, do not know who you are, but like, but I don't think Max see himself like that. Like, I don't think he don't see himself as some top ranking dude. I think he see himself as Max, bro. Like, he just like, bro, I'm Max. Like, I'm Max. Like, that's just who he is. And yeah, but he can get that shit easily.
If you want to split it, that's cool. What the fuck? So we end up taking it down. Little dude, we know they're selling his identity without letting him know.
Wow.
And so Max ends up leaving FaZe. We only knew this because he left FaZe. He got the deal on Spotify. They dropped FaZe and gave it to Max. Guess how much this was for? 400 bands for 5 months, niggas. Niggas about to.
That's crazy.
I have to take it off a nigga. Chat, so this makes sense. Imagine LeBron James and the Lakers working together, and the Lakers take all the money.
That's crazy, bro. That's some crazy shit. I'm tired as fuck.
From a commercial with beats.
Now pay close attention because this is where it really gets interesting. That sponsor game and ad game is where like a lot of dollars and cents lies. And once these management companies start to come in, that's where they seem to reap their benefits and rewards. You'll notice that there's a shift in the types of sponsorships that these brands or entities or content creators can bring in. And that's due to the vested interest that, you know, these new management companies has. And that's not me just saying this. Fellow FaZe member FaZe Swag even talked about how the ads and sponsors just switched up. One day they were getting things like big contracts from Porsche, McDonald's, Xfinity, and the next thing they could only get was 4 logo deals. It didn't make sense.
The boys are at the height of everything. They're back-to-back orgs of the year, fucking demons. Everybody in FaZe averaging 10, 20K. Oh, you know, all the boys are averaging 10, 20K viewers, and then like the best sponsor we could grab was 4 logo.
No way.
I was sitting there thinking like something's weird. Like I feel like, especially with now, the best we can do is 4 loco, bro. There's 7 people in FaZe averaging 20K viewers. These motherfuckers, they should have been on a cover of cereal boxes.
Yeah.
Like, I was sitting there like, wait, there's something's not making sense. Like, how the fuck? Like 2 years ago, did we have Porsche and McDonald's?
Hell, even friend of the show TK exposed some messages between him and FaZe, or ex-FaZe, Your Rage, about the money situation and how fucked up it was. Chasing that money trail reveals all secrets. And that's where you get FaZe's majority owner, Matt Kalish, co-founder of DraftKings and CEO of Hardscope, the production management company that's over FaZe. He basically verifies the claims in a Bloomberg article about the unsustainability of the current FaZe structure, but more importantly, the fact that he injected a bunch of money into them and then ultimately tried to recoup it in some way, shape, form, or fashion. Now, he did give the option for them to go independent, but ultimately the deal that they were signing is the deal that FaZe members are talking about being a 360 deal. Now, on one end, I get it. It's a business. You want to make some money. But on the other end, FaZe Banks told me, Omar, Omeezy, a year ago, that this wasn't about the money. This wasn't about all this other stuff. This was just about friends coming together and making content. I call bullshit. It was bullshit back then and it's bullshit now. And the reason why I took you down that little detour is because guess who also is a part of that Hardscope acquisition of FaZe? That's right, Banks.
Banks was pushed out of FaZe by the FaZe members, right? And they wanted Kalish to run it. So now there's this thing called Hardscope that now owns FaZe, which Banks has a part of. So you still part of FaZe. What are you talking about? Niggas is liars, bro. You still are part of FaZe because you own Hardscope, nigga.
So simple. So Banks. And in the last part of this live stream by Fatboy Dip
That's
was
crazy,
FaZe
bro.
Banks being accused of saying the N-word in reference to Plaqueboy Max. He called up the other FaZe members after he left and said, yo, this nigga is tripping, basically.
When Max left, he called him like, yo, bro, why you leaving? Why you leaving? He would give him all the reason. He's like, yo, bro, the last reason for real was you called me a nigga. You know what this response was like? Who said that? Who said that? Who said that? What? And he's like, bro, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I know you said that shit. He's like, bro, I was angry, but keep it a buck, bro. That's not the reason you left FaZe. Keep it a buck. Don't put that on me, bro. You know I'm going through a lot, bro. You know I love you. You're going.
That's so fucking toxic, bro. Like, bro, you just called him a nigga. not like, even if you think it should be okay, even you think it's just the word nigga, blah blah blah. He wasn't even there. It doesn't matter. If you can say, like, you can say, bro, I love you like my brother, bro, I love you. If I feel like you hurt me, bro, and like you did something that hurt my feelings, bro, you should be easily able to apologize to me. Like, a simple sorry is, like, you go a long way. But him saying, bro, I'm going through a lot, and you know I love you, and but nigga, you're bullshitting, bro. Like, bro, that's some fake shit.
Going through a lot. I'm going through a lot. Don't put that on me.
That's
bro.
some fake
In that
shit, bro.
short 17-minute live stream, there was a lot of damning evidence about the other ways that, you know, FaZe Banks was a part of the snaking of the FaZe members. And just to put the sprinkle on top, he also outlined the fact that FaZe Banks called Max a racist slur. Just full stop. Coming from a black man. Calling a black man from a white man, the word nigga is a racist slur. Don't let nobody tell you anything. So between all the internet drama, all the people dogpiling on him, making claims that, you know, you're a deceiver, you're you're a liar, you're all this, that, and the third. FaZe Banks would have a lot to address when he came back to the internet. And you'll never guess what he decided to address and not address in all of it.
As it goes for this word that I said, first of all, I didn't say this targeted toward you. This wasn't said in any sort of racist connotation. I said this word in an emotional response, and I said, fuck all y'all blanks. And it's a fucking mistake, and I'm fucking retarded.
It wasn't targeted towards you. I was just saying it. Pretty much what he said. He literally said it wasn't targeted towards you. Fuck all you niggas. You're mad about the situation. He's part of the situation, so he's a nigga you're talking about. Come on, man.
34-year-old man-child, and I have many, many flaws. And I'm an idiot for saying that.
You see, and this is why I hate y'all black asses on this internet. Y'all have white
My
men
gosh,
justifying the fact that they didn't say a racist slur in a racist way. God, this shit pisses me off. Yeah, you guessed it. He didn't acknowledge the things about him taking money, him owning a part of FaZe, these 360 deals. He didn't acknowledge any of that. Not any substantial way. He acknowledged the fact that, yo, him and Max have been talking. Him saying the N-word actually wasn't really a problem, which is crazy to me. And the fact that Max is bringing up all this stuff right now is because he has some sort of ego and he's the Travis Scott of the group and he just wants to be popping and lit and blah, blah, blah. Oh, God, it's so hard to take this man serious.
Because his cousin just went live and apparently I'm this fucking awful, terrible guy, monster, who Max had all these issues with. But as you'll see, and when I share our conversation, that's not the energy that Max has given me over the last 5 months. As a matter of fact, and not to spoil anything, but I've talked to Max more in the last 5 months than every other FaZe member combined. Max has asked me for...
Like, bro, look what he's doing, bro. Oh, well, that energy he gave me 5 months ago. Not to spoil anything, but, like, bro, come on, bro. I talked to Max more than anybody else in the last 5 months. How do you know that? How? What? You keep a tab, you keep a record? You got everybody's phone book log of text messages, the social medias. Nigga, you got them wired up, mic'd up so you can hear them when they talk, who they talking to. Like, bro, nigga, FaZe Banks, bro. Come on, dog. When I'm FaZe Banks, nigga, Banks,
from
bro. Come on, bro.
To content, to his career. He's asked me personally for help managing his career from here on out.
Well, yeah, nigga. Yeah. If he like, we're cool. We're guys, I'm gonna help you out, bro. He fuck with you, my nigga. Oh yeah, he won't lean on you for advice, and you're older. So he gonna look at you for advice. What the fuck do you mean? Like what, bro? Trying to use that as like a hope, bro. This nigga's weird.
Confided in me about his team sucking and things falling apart, and
he's weird, bro.
Since Max wanted to go live and talk about standing on business, and I was right, and look who was right, and I left FaZe first, and look at me, 100K viewers, high as fuck off the clout, and the fucking engage, just proving everything that I said 100% right yesterday. This streamer brain shit is real. They are actors, and he jumped on this opportunity not because he cares about anything that I've done or cares about anything that I've said. It's because it makes the most sense.
Banks will go on a long monologue talking about how Blackboy Max constantly hit him up, was actually still friends with him, and didn't actually have these feelings that were, depicted in his cousin's stream. Now, we'll decipher through some text messages here in a second, but I just want you guys to know that he never even addressed any of, the claims about him owning this, him doing that, being not genuine in this conversation.
He legitimately deflected. And a lot of times when somebody deflect, it's so obvious, it pisses you the fuck off. Because it's like, bro, you know you're deflecting. I know you're deflecting. And you still want to deflect? But sometimes you got to just walk away. You want to hit them, though. You got to walk away, man.
The third, the fourth, the fifth, and the sixth. It's funny because when we had that live stream exchange, he was so gung-ho and proud to dispel any narrative about, his knowledge about different things, people taking advantage of these guys, the genuineness of the relationship. But all of a sudden, he is mum's the fucking word. It's amazing to me how quiet he is about the actual facts and stuff that probably matters more than, Blackboy Max texting you and y'all's feelings and this, that, and the third. N-word. Did you take advantage of them, Banks? Yes or no? Go react. That's all we want to know. I do want to circle the block back here on this whole N-word saga, because instead of just plainly taking accountability, and I just mean leaving it at a full stop, yeah, I did say that shit, and it was wrong, etc., etc. No, Banks doubles, triples, and quadruples down on the deflection game and says, you know, hey, I did say that, but you don't actually care about those things because you would have been brought it up. And in fact, your buddies say it too. And do you care about that?
If you really have a problem with that, then why has it not been a problem for the last 5 months? If you really have a problem with that, why have you told me multiple times I don't have a problem with that, we're good? If you really have a problem with that, and I can say this, Ron, last subathon, fucking said it. Muted his mic and said it. The chat laughed, and everybody told him to say it, and he said it. Lacey has admitted to saying it publicly. You know this. So why isn't that a problem? Other members in FaZe have said it in the confines, behind the scenes, off cam, in the presence of.
So now he's deflecting again. He's like, damn, everybody said it. Other FaZe members said it, right? My bad. Everybody said it. That's not the point, nigga. You said it towards Blackboy Max. Like, you used the way you used the way you used it, the way it was, the term, the manner was wrong. You wasn't just saying, oh, say it, nigga. Oh, it was no. Nah, bro. See, that's some crazy shit. Crazy narcissism.
And FaZe members. And this was never a problem. It's only a problem now because it's convenient for you and for this narrative to make me look like shit and to make you look right.
Damn. That sounds like those cultural differences that I was talking about last year. I really do hate the fact that y'all have
oh shit.
These white creators coming on the internet talking about how it's okay to say the N-word in any way, shape, form, or fashion, and these guys said it, and those guys said it, and everything's just comfortable saying. That shit really annoys me. Aiden's whack ass said some comments about it too, and I really can't get behind that shit. That shit is stupid. But nonetheless, FaZe Banks would go on after the video to break what a lot of people would consider to be a cardinal sin, releasing text messages that would seemingly show that, you know, Max kind of regrets some of these situations, how, you know, he didn't actually care about the N-word, how they still rock with each other, etc., etc. Max would say, allegedly, like I said, the N-word and contract shit threw me off bad, bro, but I'm past that, and we talked about it, so I don't give a fuck, and I get your POV. I do find it weird when black people let white people say the N-word, but I do find it very choice that Banks addressed this in this fashion. And it's also interesting that he keeps saying, like, yo, these creators keep playing this community game trying to galvanize these people, but I can kind of see through this smoke screen dance. Obviously there would be a bunch of black people, commentators, you know, onlookers, fans, etc., etc., that would get upset finding out that white people are saying the N-word. They would also, though, get upset that there are black people who allow these things. So I believe that Banks is using this as some sort of ammunition to try to turn the guns towards a Blackboy Max. But I'm gonna be honest with you, gang, I'm not gonna get caught in that smoke screen dance. We can address that later. You spent all this energy exposing the DMs of a young man who was going through a mental health crisis, which we talked about earlier in this year in a separate video. You spent all that time exposing those text messages to a community of people to do their own interpretations in an attempt to prove that y'all were in good standing. And I do want this to serve as some sort of like PSA to Blackboy Max or any of the young streamers out there. Yo, these people are not your friends.
They're not.
You confiding in them thinking that they are is only going to hit you back in the face. Because the way that this narrative is trying to be painted is the fact that you didn't give a fuck and you made a mistake and you did X, Y, and Z, all while misdirecting us and redirecting us to something totally different from the actual conversation at hand. Now, I do like to acknowledge that Blackboy Max did fire back at him. Blackboy Max says, I joined FaZe at 20. I respected Banks. After I left FaZe, Banks would call me saying I needed him and my career was falling off. He took advantage of the fact that I was depressed and in the hospital. At one point, I let all the calls get to me and asked to join FaZe again. But I kept going, and in November, I was introduced to a manager who helped me realize that a lot of the things he told me were lies. I've since leaving worked with bigger guests and brands and have a 2026 plan that is only even bigger than what I've accomplished so far. Yeah, and that's probably going to check out because you don't have somebody who is attached to DraftKings pushing for the brands and the sponsorships. Of course, they would do the people that fit best with their program on your platform first. That's just how that goes. Now, naturally, Banks did not like this. He would send his retaliation, more so targeting that retaliation to the fact that, yo, this guy is a liar. The things that he said was not true. He's deceiving everyone. And in fact, he hates his friends. Like, he turned his back on his friends. He fucked them over, etc.
Pretty much, the guy said that when I spoke to him about our text, he fucked his friends over, left because he thought he was in the program. He admitted multiple times it was strictly a career move. The kid thinks he's Travis Scott, and it is a shame. Damn, get Travis Scott out your fucking Travis Scott dick out your throat, my nigga. Damn, damn. Change to come to this, lying and dragging someone who overly helped you. Body views is a joke. It's all ego. He literally just signed a message off as Prince. He telling you who he is. You just won't listen. Bro, I don't hate Banks, bro, but this shit is like really insane the way he's acting, bro. Like, this shit really insane. Like, it's really insane.
Etc. And he gave the ultimate, and I do mean ultimate cardinal sin, and placed that onto Blackboy Max, saying that he botted views. But the reason why a lot of this stuff isn't hitting as hard as FaZe Banks thinks it should be is because of a couple things. One, he has a terrible track record in history as a content creator, as a business person. Like, community-wide, people do not fuck with FaZe Banks. You know, there's some diehards that are still phasing it up out there, but ultimately, there are people who have talked about the crypto schemes. There are people that talked about the allegations about him and the young girls. There are people who are starting to peel back the layers on the onion that is FaZe Banks, and boy, it is starting to stink up. And number two, if you're about to expose the fact that Max had bots, you're gonna have to expose the fact that a lot of these guys, specifically all the FaZe guys, had bots because they would get those bots from their management company. And guess who their management company is? You, dummy!
You at the bots, bitch! That's what you do! You're a background character
bitch.
talking like you fucking Beyonce. Nigga, you the fuck, yo, bro.
Thank you. See, you see how mad he is? He's like, bro, FaZe is a bitch. FaZe Banks is such a bitch, bro. Like, it's crazy. Like, this nigga really a bitch, bro. It's insane.
These guys, specifically all the he is. You, dummy!
You at the bots, bitch! That's what you do! You're a background character talking like you fucking Beyonce. Nigga, you the fuck, yo, bro.
Bro, you a bitch,
this is
bro.
Destiny Child, get your ass in a back. Nigga, all the black men and all the one Jewish man and the one fat nigga and the one Asian nigga made you.
The reason why Banks isn't going into a lot of details and trying to do these personal attacks on Blackboy Max is because every time he speaks, he pokes holes in an argument that'll be favorable for him. He's the problem. Like, let's not get that twisted. Let's not get that misconstrued. Like, he is actively the problem in all these situations. And I'm so glad that people are starting to wake up to the fact that he came and he bullied me too. Max, I'm on your side. He bullied me too, gang. He bullied me too, but I'm glad we can sit on the same side together and really acknowledge that he's the problem. Max clapped back with a closing argument about him not being a liar and how this narrative isn't sticking like Banks thought it would, because to be quite honest with you, it kind of isn't. Now, granted, a business had to be done, but you didn't do it genuinely like you said you did. And now you're attacking Max while simultaneously sending messages to his aunt about how he's one of the best kids out there. I don't know. By the time this video gets out, the other guys will have had spoken about what's going on. They're supposed to be doing a live stream very soon together, collectively, maybe separately, but like collectively at the same time. And I'm curious as to what they say when they finally speak out. I think that they'll address a lot of these issues. I think that some of these things they'll avoid because legally they can't. But what I will say is, again, my live stream is open for you guys. I am willing to sit down and have those conversations because I need to know why FaZe Banks lied to me.
Banks a bitch, bro. Like, bro, FaZe Banks, like, but not FaZe Banks, but bro, you really a bitch, bro. Like it's really, that shit's insane. Like, shit like that is insane to me, bro. Because I went through some I went through some scammy shit like that before, bro. Like, that's why it's like really like affected me, bro. There was back when I was younger, and somebody I looked up to, and I was like a mentor to me, and he told me all this shit and tried to give me all and sell me a dream, bro. Niggas just trying to scam me of money, bro. Like, well, that's a story for another day, but yeah, bro, Banks a bitch, bro.